All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Just checking the sound, making sure it's coming through okay. Fantastic. Good, good, good. Good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today, and happy Wednesday. What a week so far. It is. It's been a fun one. So last couple days have given some decent moves. So that's been today was definitely some good moves today. So anyway, good stuff. Today we're going to continue our discussion on day trading the VWAP, and today we're going to talk about finding entries using the VWAP. So it should be pretty cool stuff. Before we get started, though, of course, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, let's take a look and see where we left off in the market today. So here's the S&P cash, the SPX. We have monthly chart. We have, let me get this so I can see everybody here. Good, good, good. All right. So we have closed. Well, we haven't closed. We haven't finished the month yet. We're about halfway through the month, if you guys can believe it. And we are down below the mid-Bollinger Band again. So down 50 points today in the market, and back below the monthly Bollinger Band. So with that, right, kind of the big deal here today is that we're still this shooting star candle that filled this gap here on the weekly, and basically got to that the Harami cross point right here, is still in effect, right? So price action wise. On the weekly chart, so we are basically just reclaimed a little bit of that shooting star, and today we got really, really close. In fact, we closed just below that shooting star level. So wouldn't be surprised if we got a little more follow through the downside, but also wouldn't be surprised if we gap up tomorrow based on where we closed here on the daily. So the daily, we hit the bottom of the trend box today. In fact, we expanded the trend box a little bit because of the lower shadow, but because of that move, because of that little push below these levels right here, things start to get a little bit sketchy, right? If we push down below these levels, we could see another momentum move down. And if we do, 50-day moving average is the next major level down here that we're seeing here around 27.19. So we'll see if that ends up being the case, or if we just continue to work our way back up, bounce off the cloud here. It was a nice horizontal cloud today. I mean, literally, if you kind of zoom in here, we basically bottom ticked it here today. Look at that. Right off the cloud. Pretty amazing stuff. Potential support right there. So we'll see if this leads us back to the top of the trend box or somewhere in the middle as we stay in kind of the chop zone. But at least we got a little bit of range today. So let's take a look at the price action and see what happened here on the 15-minute chart. So it was an interesting morning, right? So things were trending up nicely pre-market. We'll take a look at the futures in a little bit. Things were trending up nicely pre-market, and then today, you gotta always know when the Fed's gonna talk, right? So Powell had like a meeting, not an official Fed meeting or anything, but he had a discussion today, and basically talked about that the economy is pretty rough, right? It's I can't remember the exact words, but it's something along the lines of uncertain, right? How can anybody ever be certain about any economic activity? But they got their data and all that stuff, and so the data is coming in as being uncertain, right? So for the future, so that brought the market down this morning, right? And so we got down a little bit off of that, and then we flushed, right? We pushed down, and then we came back up. What was really cool is when we came back up, all we really did is retest the price levels of where that initial flush happened. We like to call that returning to the scene of the breakdown. And so we did that today with a beautiful upper shadow. It also happened to correspond with the 15 orb high. And then so we have this beautiful upper shadow right here, still holding the ADMA, right? And that worked our way down not only to the 15 orb below, but it gave us another confirmation move below that 15 orb below for a great shorting opportunity today. And just a great move. It looked like it might have kept going and all that stuff, but they kept on trying to squeeze out. They kept on squeezing out anybody who kept on trying to short later in the day, right? So we kept on getting these down moves that kept on going up, down move, and then up at the end of the day. They got one more tag right there, which formed the bottom of the trend box, right? And then and we pushed our way up into the end of the day. So an interesting spike at the end of the day. So we'll see if that gets any follow through into tomorrow, and kind of go from there. So let's take a look at the levels that we provide to our members before each market open. So let's go here to the today's date. So pretty cool stuff, right? The levels are always give us good indication, right? Not only do we test the prior day's highs, but look at this on the 5-minute chart. Nice inside 5-2 to confirm that upper shadow on the 15, and that just brought us down to the next level. And then next level here, we tested these volumetric zones, filled a couple open gaps, right, on the SPX. And then after doing that, upper shadow off those gap fills, and that brought us down to the 15-hour low. We hit this key level here, this S2 level on the daily, and that proved to be a little bit of support until it worked its way down a little bit farther. We had some key levels on the ES that we were dealing with here today, and then just kind of chopped around here into the end of the day. So it made it a little bit challenging here today. But if you caught this one, this is just a great move today, and then back up to the S2 level. So good stuff. So let's take a look at the futures and see what they're up to here tonight. All right, good stuff. So you can see, pretty neat stuff. This at 9 o'clock, right, is when Powell started talking today. Right, you can see that right here, 9 o'clock, flush. It's like everything he's saying was wrong, right? Kind of worked its way down, then we flushed at the open. And look what we did. We came right back to those levels here today. They retested that price and said, nope, we're good. Economy's still bad, and then they flushed it. So it was just a pretty cool, when you have that kind of sentiment, what's kind of going on behind the scenes. It's a great area to observe, and then to look for some key entries for to catch some of this downside move. So that was pretty good, and now we're kind of chopping around here after hours a little bit. It really is starting to kind of look like a megaphone type formation going into the evening. So it's kind of like an expanding triangle type feel to it right here. So we'll see how that goes into the rest of the night right here. But it looks like we're pushing down and possibly going to test a couple other levels here, depending on what kind of strength or weakness follow through we get. So right now we're down 4 points. We were down a little bit lower earlier, and so we were down a little bit lower earlier, and just kind of chopping around right now. So we'll see how some of these levels hold right now. You can see you got a geometric level right here. From the low of the day and into this last pivot right here. So we'll see how that holds going into the rest of the evening and where they open us in the morning, so we can get some clues into the price action at the open and what we have to deal with tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, so let's take a look here and at our topic. Okay, so we'll go through the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So today we're going to continue our discussion on trading the VWAP. And today we're going to be talking about finding entries with using the VWAP as a guide. So pretty cool stuff. So a couple concepts that are out there that are really helpful. Let's use the ES here. Let's put the VWAP on it here for today. VWAP. Okay. And so you can see throughout the day today and throughout last night, it was pretty interesting, right? So you can kind of see that this served as nice support going through the night last night, right? So we talked about last night, right? We had this triangle here, breakdown. We got to the VWAP, we held it, and look how nicely that VWAP held over the night. And then intraday, right, it just gave us a clue that the breakdown was coming, right? So one of the cool things is to find these moves is two concepts, right? So one of the things is, let me grab my grapefruit right here, excuse me. So one of the cool things is that institutional buying, right? So if an institution finds something that they like, oftentimes they'll buy it when it's below the VWAP, right? So they can get a price that's better than the average price. So I think some institutions promise that to their members, to their customers, and it just gives them a good price. So a lot of times you'll hear an institution go like, well, if this price pulls back to the VWAP, we're going to get long. So one of the things you can look at on an intraday basis, especially on stocks, things that are moving, is that type of volume that comes in when you cross just below the VWAP. And if we come back above it, right, it can be strong, right? So one of the things like Apple has had like a lot of institutional buying recently, like some flow and things like that. So that's one of the things you look for, right? So when Apple comes in, and you pull back to the VWAP right here, and you start to get some volume coming in, right? That's showing that institutional buyers are interested, right? So here we're above the VWAP. Here is a great one. So this is one of the examples right here. If you can get like a nice chart pattern where you pull back to the VWAP, a lot of times that can give a great entry, right? So here you had a nice flag pattern, right? So knowing your chart patterns are great, right? So here we had a nice chart pattern up to this level here the other day. And then we get a pullback here pretty close to the VWAP. We don't tag the VWAP, we get in the range of it. And then you see some nice increasing volume coming through here, and a nice pullback to the VWAP. And if these institutions want to own Apple, that's a great place for them to get in. And look at that nice symmetrical move here off of this flag. Boom, and boom, get you right to the next level right here. And then look what happened again, right? So before that news came out about Apple opening their stores, look what it did, right? It pulled back to the VWAP, right? So sometimes you can find nice entries off of this, right? Whether it's a trend line, right? Whether it's a nice trend line move or a, for instance, like a falling wedge here to the VWAP, great potential here for an entry, a little bit of a pause, and then you got that launch off of the news right here off of this compressed range, and then it worked its way up. So this is a great tool to use. It's a great guide, and if you can find a good chart pattern, a lot of times you can get some nice moves off of those that VWAP type setup. Okay, so that's a good example right there, and then let's just go back to the ES. and see how that's looking here from yesterday, right? So so that's one of the kind of the key tools and how it looked here today, right? So today, right, we showed here, right, pre-market, right? So this is all after hours yesterday. We held the VWAP, right? So these kind of pullbacks right here are opportunities to look for long entries, potential, right? You don't have to go long when it tags the VWAP, but if you have a nice setup, right, or something that makes sense, right, a sensible pullback, or a channel breakout or a trend line breakout, it's a potential opportunity to get long, right? You have this move right here, potential opportunity to get long. And so that's what we look at when we're using the VWAP, just looking for potential setups that are going on there. Now today was pretty cool, right? So we had the initial move up, gave us a nice bounce, right? So we had a bull flag here to the VWAP, and then we got a nice break to the upside, right? And that got us to the 15-warp high, and then they pulled it back. So are they trying to buy here? Maybe, right? You got a strong candle right here, or what was it? Was it a megaphone type formation that got to that VWAP, and once we broke down below there, we had our 15-warp low, and then we flushed, right? So a couple nice moves there. And then ultimately that was it, right? They tried to get over the VWAP right here tonight, and struggled a little bit with it, re-tagged it back down, and now we're flushing below it right now as we're getting below this this key level right here. So it's a cool tool. It's like I said, it gives you an area of interest, but if you can find a nice chart pattern that corresponds with it, a lot of times it can help you find some nice moves as long as it's fitting with your trading plan. It makes sense, but it's a great guide. To look for pull, especially if you have a rising VWAP and you get a nice bull flag to it or something like that, can give some really great moves there. So anyway, pretty interesting stuff. So let's see where we end up tonight again on the S&P futures, and hopefully you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to play those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, well, good. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, decent day to the short side for sure. ES looking like a head and shoulders-ish on the daily. Let's take a look here. So we got the ES pulled up right now on the daily. Yeah, a little bit of a kind of a head and shoulders type feel here. Let's see. So we've got yeah, so like a little shoulder right here, maybe a sideways type head and shoulders. So we got kind of this going on. Right, shoulder, head, shoulder. Possible breakdown, right, if we can get down below there. Like I said, if we break down through that trend box and we get to the cloud, we might start seeing another move down right now. So that could be interesting. Good. Let's take a look. And also we got Google. Yeah, so Google struggled a bit there today. It had a rough day yesterday, right? So the real body engulfing candle, we looked at this yesterday and we said it might have a pullback to the ADMA. And it sure did, right? It kind of pushed out of the ADMA, almost got to the 20 EMA before it ended up moving right there. Couldn't quite fill that gap below, but looks a little bit frustrated here, right? So let's see if it continues to break down into tomorrow. Otherwise, right, we got these levels up here, right? We're just kind of forming like a cup, maybe like a handle type pattern. We might see a move back up there to those highs. And then Netflix. Netflix is just trying so hard, right? It's just big move up, right? Huge move up pre-earnings, right? And then it had good earnings, right? Then it came down after that, and then it's just been kind of climbing up. It's below its macro upward trend line right here, and it's starting to get just like it's like, oh, I just want to get up, right? So it's trying, and this is what Netflix likes to do. It likes to test these levels and then reverse off of it. Test those levels, reverse off of it. But ultimately, we're looking to see how it can handle this one, kind of like a sideways megaphone type formation, and see if we can get above those all-time highs and then build from there. So that should be definitely on the radar for that. So good stuff. Yeah, appreciate it. Shirley sent in a few via email. So we've got Ford Motor Company. So yeah, Ford breaking down pretty good right here. I like this. You have to imagine they're struggling, right? So less people buying cars and less people servicing their cars too. So it means they're less service business for these automotive companies are pretty big too, and less people going to get their oil changed and things like that, because they're not driving as much, and so less parts being sold, things like that. So yeah, this is a good one to keep on the bearish radar in tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to put that on the game plan for tomorrow too. That looks good. Let's see. I'll put that there. Yeah, I like that, and I like the increased volume on that one too. So nice find on that one. Good. And what else? CMCSA. Yes, this popped on our bearish radar this morning. Had a really nasty open and a nasty pullback today, and then they ended up buying the dip today. So it was very, very weak here at the open. Couldn't actually break down as much as everything else was pretty interesting. It ended up coming back up and holding the 15-hour below. So that lower shadow is something to be concerned about. The way it held that, but let's see how it holds those lows going into tomorrow. It kind of gives you like a geometric feel to it right there going into tomorrow. Delta Airlines, weak. I mean, all the banks and the airlines were weak today. So very, very nasty move on the downside here. On this one, big volume came in, just dropping down, guys. These things are just getting crushed. Bank of America was also weak. The financials were weak too, so nice job on that one. I know at least one of our members had this one short last night from a swing idea, and did a great job on that one as it pushed to the downside, got through a bunch of these levels, and had a very weak day today right from the open. Right, so that was just the financials kind of led the way here. It looked like sector rotation out, but it's just overall general weakness there. So, and then AT&T, the big T. So nasty one there too on AT&T as that worked to the downside. Had a pretty rough candle here. Right, kind of stayed within that range a little bit, and then finally, boom, flushed to the downside on AT&T. So good stuff. Yeah, see if that gets any follow through tomorrow. It's got room to get to that 27 and a half. Yeah, about 27 and a half to that our old fib fan line on that one. Good. Rochelle, what's going on? Lulu, let's take a look. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. So yesterday, Rochelle, Lulu, gave you a big kind of upper shadow type candle, red candle right here. Not exactly increasing volume, but it definitely showed that maybe this move needed a little bit of a rest, right? And it got that follow through to the downside, Dave. So a big move down as it came to the scene of the breakout right here. Kind of held that a little bit. So we're still below this prior geometric line right here. So let's even get back above that and maybe try to build a little bit to retest those highs. It can be a nasty one. This thing can chop around for a while. Nvidia. Yeah, not quite a bearish engulfing candle, but definitely, dark cloud cover type feel yesterday on Nvidia. Got to pull down today, but a lot of these ended up recovering a bit on these stocks here, and we basically just came down, tested the upper trend line today and bounced above that. Right, had a strong move at the open, a nice buy the dip opportunity as it held its pre-market lows, and came back up, gave you a nice 15-hour break to the upside. Great place to move stops, and then it flushed with the rest of the market on that one. But it's drifting up nicely here after hours today. So good stuff. Sujay, what's going on? Shop, let's take a look. Yeah, so Shop's super duper strong, right? So it had a big down move, but a huge recovery intraday, and ended up closing with a nice green candle. Basically just bounced off your ADMA here, and then worked its way up here as it's approaching its all-time highs. Wouldn't be surprised, if it gapped up a little bit tomorrow and then maybe got a move. Amazon. Doji Day right at the ADMA and under the upper trend line. So let's see how that holds going into tomorrow. Breakdown below these lows, could see another move to the downside, possibly a test of the 20 on EMA, or if it can get strong again, right, and get back above the upper trend line, maybe we'll come and work our way back up to those highs. And then Tesla, right down to the ADMA. So right down to the ADMA today. It flushed below it and came right back to it. So showed a little bit of strength there, and it was up a little bit after hours too. So let's see if that gets any strength into tomorrow. And NVIDIA we just looked at, and let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft, huge bounce off the 21 EMA today. Yes, a big move off of that one today, and looking pretty good right here as it's basically closed right at these prior resistance levels. So let's see if we can slowly work its way back up. The ADMA is starting to curl over a little bit, but that volume, ended up coming in pretty strong here at the end of the day. And even on this dip buy right here, they really tried to keep Microsoft up today. So let's see if that gets some continued strength. Great stuff. Asif, what's going on? Hey, what's up? Good to see you. VTIQ. Oh, I know this thing has just been on fire. And we've been talking about this every night, right? So it's like you got this move right here, right? Starting to get some good volume coming in there. All right, if it breaks over that high, we can move, right? It moves. If it breaks over this high, it can move. Oh, big move. If it breaks over this high, it can move. Huge move. I mean, guys, this is very, irregular, but pretty awesome how it's doing this. That breaks over this high, huge move again, and it's still up. even though it had a red candle on the day. So watch, it might be topping out right here with this red candle, but wow, what an epic run on that one. Great stuff. Very, very wild. ZEK, what's going on? ATVI, let's take a look. ATVI has been showing some good strength intraday over the last couple days, right? It gives a lot of nice moves up, and it had a nice recovery here today. It got back over its 15 orb, in fact, on the intraday time frame. So inside candle today, so the ranges are starting to get big on it. Just kind of see how that holds right there. I wouldn't be surprised if we tested one end or the other, but it might take a little bit more consolidation before it gets a breakout above those highs. Wouldn't even be surprised if we saw a double inside day on this one. So just keep an eye on it. You see this level right here, how important that was, right? It rejected that original gap high today. Good. SDC. Whew. So SDC, earnings after hours. So it's about flat right now. So a little bit up move, down move. So we'll see what it does, right? So we came back here. Let's see if it, we said maybe it'll pull back off of this cup and handle pattern here and try to form one. So we'll see if we get a reversal tomorrow, right? So if it's gapping down pretty flat right here, we might get some buyers in it. This thing's been pretty strong recently. It had a nice run up. And that recent pullback here before earnings might give it some more incentive to try to go higher. And then UNFI. Wow, I didn't even show this the other day. This is like VTIQ. What a move right here. I mean, this is an epic breakout move, right? That right there, and it's like get over these highs, just gap and go today. Goodness gracious, what a move on this one. Incredible. It's got over the pre-market levels right here, held your 15 orb, pull back to the 15 orb, move back up. So how high can it go? As high as they want it. As high as they want it. I mean, we could do like a Fibonacci extension here just to kind of get some estimates here. But you go here, here it could get to the. I mean, right there's the 261.8 right here, about like 224.50, and then above that maybe 29. I mean, if it really wanted to, but that's just an epic move off of that one. Huge volume today. Goodness gracious, incredible stuff. Ankit, what's going on? Yeah, everything's well. Hope you're doing well too. Thanks for tuning in. Thoughts on Boeing? Yeah, so Boeing's getting really close, guys. It's right on this triangle right here. You can see I've got this candle highlighted here. Pretty interesting stuff. We're still in the range of this initial gap up candle before we got that big move up. Right, so we got in there, we broke down below the triangle today with some increased volume, but really this gap right here is going to be an important one to test. If we can close below there, then we may really start to work our way back up. But Boeing can be an interesting one. So we're gonna see if it continues to work on this triangle, if it expands the triangle, or if it wants to finally break out of this thing. So just really, really choppy price action there. Roku, pretty nasty stuff right here. Gave us a trend box here today, right? Activate there. So we're in this trend box right now. So again, this is on the weaker radar, right? Because it really pushed far below its upward trend line right here and below the 21 EMA. So a breakdown below today's lows may actually try to work its way to the cloud. So that's on the bearish radar right there. Intel, it's been trying in the morning, right? In the mornings, it's been pushing, right? It's been giving nice moves, but they just haven't. I mean, the other day, look at that, boom, huge move to the upside, and then all these pullbacks. So it's trying to show strength in the morning, but it just can't hold up. So really, right now, we're just kind of range bound on this thing, in this area from here to here. So really looking for a breakout candle one way or the other. It's been trying, but struggling. Beyond, just amazing stuff on this one, guys. I mean, this one is just it's tough to keep down. It's just funky the way it moves, right? It loves to do these crazy candles. It makes it frustrating as a trader, because it did pull back, but it did pull back to these kind of candle breakout levels here and bounced off of it, right? So that was a pretty decent move on that bounce, and then it's drifting up after hours here. It's still below its daily 15 or below, but see if it can get some follow through to the upside tomorrow on Beyond. And then GE, $5. I think this is like the lowest price it's been like forever or something like that. I can't remember what the news was on it, but it's like the lowest price since like the 90s or something. Anyway, so GE, lower shadow right here, and just struggling a little bit, right? So it was a nice breakdown move today, and then they tried to push it up at the end of the day, but just overall pretty weak. I mean, $5 stock. This thing's a penny stock now. I think we traded options more expensive this thing today. So anyway, pretty interesting stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. ZEK, the DPZ, the Domino's Pizza. Boom. Inside day up today. Nice increased volume. Closed over a lot of those key levels. Looks like it really wants to get at the all-time high. It's right at that fib fan level right there. So let's see if we get some follow through to the upside on that one. That's going on the The bullish radar for tomorrow. I love it. So nice stuff on the pizza stock. Good. Good stuff. Kim, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Happy W. Wednesday. But let's take a look at W while we're here. So it's been still holding its gap, and it's still holding the 80 EMA on that one. But it did have an epic gap up recently, and it's had some strength in it too. PFE. JMOS, yeah, PFE. So again, another pullback right here. So let's see. Again, I want to see it get over today's highs to see if we get some strength again. But I like how it still held the 21 EMA. And then Vale. Yeah, Vale getting tight. Tight. Oh, still got the Fibonacci's up. Super duper tight. Triangle action right there. So let's see if they can get break above that triangle for us and get a move. Nice stuff. Michael, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Kim, yeah, VTIQ. Exactly. So just crazy moves right there. Totally parabolic. Big red candle today. Look to see if it gives you any more reversal indications tomorrow. That thing has just been on fire. And then Cisco earnings tonight. Look at that. Nice bounce off of its daily cloud. And then a little bit up after earnings, but couldn't even get over today's highs at the end of the session here, overnight session, or the after hours session. So let's see how it holds up right here. Again, pretty good support here at the cloud. And then we'll look and see if it can give us maybe a reversal move tomorrow. And Kim, yeah, APT. Let's take a look. Wow, this thing's still triangulating. I mean, it keeps on getting some news. I mean, it pulled back today, pretty significantly, right? Had a significant pullback today, but other than that, still rocking this triangle. So let's see if we can get a breakout move one way or the other on this thing. Bagish, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. What a day for sure. Pump in the morning and dump later. Exactly. DKNG. DKNG. So pretty epic move here off of its its second day after the IPO. Right, we got a nice move up off of that. You got this inside candle. You got that bounce to the upside. A nice lower shadow day off the 80 MA on that one. Earnings coming up on this thing soon. So I don't know. Look for a flush. All these IPOs that usually do terrible. But who knows? This is kind of a gambling stock, and it's like an internet gambling stock. So probably gonna have good earnings. But we'll see how that goes. Mickey D's. Yeah, they're struggling now too, right? Nice pullback right here, down below a declining 50 moving average right here. It's holding its daily cloud, but if it breaks down there, you got this nice gap below on McDonald's. They've been having some issues too with Corona and all that stuff, not being able to open dining rooms, and I think there was some nasty crime committed at one recently, but because they wouldn't let people in the dining room or something. It's give me a break. But Cisco, again, yeah, earnings tonight, a little bit flat here, so let's see if it continues to hold the cloud. And then TDOC. Outside day, Harami, could be kind of like a homing pigeon, to the downside. But these are tricky candles right here. Right now, it's kind of, because of that outside candle, is forming that megaphone type formation. So let's see if we can break out one way or the other out of those highs or lows. Jorge, what's going on? Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you are well, too. Quite a day today. Amazing stuff. Rich, good evening. Wow, another one for W. Nice. Yeah, it's holding up pretty well. I mean, it really does. I mean, it's just an epic move from these lows right here. Right, you got a couple. You got your trend line. You got your bump trend line right here. So it's got some distance to go. You may slowly pull back to it, but see if it holds these levels right here, and then tries to give you a bounce on that one. A little bit tricky on the options too. PLNT. Planet Fitness. Wow, that one struggled today too. Wasn't that on our bearish radar from yesterday too? Nice follow through the downside. Good volume right there. Just the only thing you gotta be careful about is the bottom of the cloud. Might find that as some support. Zumba. Outside candle today, but closed green. So nice job on Zoom today. This is I know we had at least one member did well on this one today. Just a great move at the open here, and it's kind of a flag type action here into the open, and there's a nice flag break at the open there. Then you got this double inside 15 for another pop out of the 15 orb high today. Then it's kind of drifting up here nicely after hours. So let's see how that closes and see if we can get over those highs into tomorrow. And then JP Morgan with the financials struggling. So JP Morgan ended up being down. We had WFC on our game plan, our free game plan on the Twitter stream. But this one ended up pushing down here after yesterday despite the decreased volume. We got some nice fall to the downside. WFC, just take a look at it here. We mentioned this here last night too. Great fall through on that one to the downside. Huge volume today. Goodness gracious. Wow. Wells Fargo, that's some volume right there. And then AAL, let's take a look. Slam today too. So just basically at these levels right, still holding these levels right here. But 1, 2, 3, see if it breaks down below those lows. Might give another move to the downside. Goodness gracious. Taxley, what's going on? Amazon, Amazonia. So let's take a look here. So Amazon again, Doji day today. You can barely see the candle. It closed right at the ADMA, right? And so now let's see if it can kind of work its way up and get its way above the upward trend line there. So, Rich, yeah, LOL Fed. Uncertain equals, you don't know how bad it looks. Exactly, and the market's like really? Exactly. I know. Once he started talking, it was like, well, we're a little bit uncertain. Flush. Sorry, Jerome. Anyway, good stuff right there. Royal, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, doing good. Let's take a look. Yeah, Walmart. How's that doing here today? Down 7 cents today. Big upper shadow. So be careful with that one, right? We had this geometric line it couldn't get above, couldn't stay above. So let's shift that over right here. So that's basically giving us this right now. So nasty upper shadow today. So just be careful with that. But it's got some crazy levels below. This thing can get, as you guys can see, can get pretty choppy. So just be careful with that one. USO. Still sideways action. Triple inside day down a little bit here, but it's just basically holding on to a sideways ADMA right now. So okay, let's see how what it does once it gets to that trend line. And then HLT. Yeah, downside always helps, right? So with those puts, but yeah, HLT nice follow through the downside right here. You got a little bit of a support candle right there, which it's holding, but a breakdown below these lows could start to work and see that gap down below on HLT. Nice job on that one. Jorge, BA broke the triangle. I know, exactly. So it is very, very possible, right? I just want to see how it handles this candle here, right? This gap candle. If it, if we can get some more weakness there, if it holds that gap and defends the gap, we might push to the upside. Otherwise, yeah, there is definitely a possibility that it tests that 100 level. Jeff, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Save. Yep, Save just weak with the rest of the airlines right here. I mean, just a big volume today, big breakdown, double inside down. I mean, it's just amazing how much these things are struggling. Watch those recent lows, potential support. Heather, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we'll take it, Apple. Absolutely. So Apple, pretty cool stuff right here, right? So we where's our trend line on this one? There. Okay, so nice pullback today, right, off of yesterday's, almost dark cloud cover on this one. So basically, remember that geometric line up here? It's really a trend line too, off of these. Couldn't get above it, right? So upper shadow off that red candle there. And so the downside follow through today, not surprising. But look where it bounced. Bounced right on the upward trend line, right? So this thing is still holding its trend really well, right? It's really holding this channel really well right here. And, so we could see a bounce off of that. We saw a little bit today. Right, nice EMA hold, and that EMA, just love how it's hugging that trend line right there too. So let's see if that gets any more follow through the upside. It's nice after hours there. Decent bounce here today, came back, and then another bounce into the close. So let's see if that can work its way up and at least retest these levels. If we can get above it, we could potentially see those all-time highs. Good stuff. Jeff, I know Beyond is volatile. When it's moving, Beyond is volatile. You just got to catch the right intraday moves. It's tough on a swing. Right, because here's a nice candle right here. It's like, oh yeah, this is looking great. Oh no, it's back down. Oh wait, I should have stayed in. Oh, it's back up. Oh no, wait, it's back down. Right, it's very, very challenging. Again, just got to watch the price action. Nice momentum move at the open. Then I gave you these inside 15s, which worked its way down. Just really, really could be tough stuff for sure. Cool one. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for making it, man. AXP. Oh yeah, another breakdown there with the financials today. Just a huge move down. In fact, this looks like it does have even more downside if it breaks down below today's lows. And then Koopa Troopa. Getting there. Kind of holding its trend a little bit. I mean, it's got a bump line right here. Basically bounced off of that today. So see if that can continue to work its way up a little bit here. But software has been strong recently. But watch these lows just in case it might try to work its way down that ADMA. So we got that going on. Good stuff. Matt, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, the Boeing. So, potential here. It's just been so tricky. If they pop it to the upside, then this triangle basically just expands a little bit. I'm really concerned, and I just want to see how it handles this gap right here. Very, very key level type stuff. So if we pop out of this thing, there's a good chance we hit that 50 moving average. So we'll see how that goes. Thomas, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. AAXN. Woo! Nice fall through the downside off of this upper shadow right here. So nice, rally and then drop off of that one. So it's a nice fallback right there. A little bit of an upper shadow, a lower shadow right here. We got the ADMA right here, a couple points below. Again, it is kind of holding this level right here, which is right at 80. So we closed just above that here too. So it might be using this prior resistance as support. So let's see how that goes into tomorrow. Break down below those lows. Could see the ADMA, and below there you got a nice little gap below on that one too. Nice stuff. Sujay, yeah, Wells Fargo, exactly. Boom. Nice follow through the downside from yesterday's idea. Looks good. Brian, what's happening? A few ways to get safe entries. So it just depends what you look at, right? So if we go to like Apple, right? So safe is tough, right? Because there's always going to be risk, right? There's always the chance of losing money, right? But you know, if you look at Apple here the other day, this is a great move here. Okay, so we pulled back in the morning. All right, we've talked about pre-market levels, things like that, right? So here's your pre-market low right here. Okay, so you get this. So it also helps to trade, you know, stocks that have strength, or smooth and have good spreads, right? If you don't want to just trade crazy stuff like Beyond and be like, yeah, it's going up. Oh no, I just lost everything, right? That type of stuff, right? So it held the pre-market lows nicely here. Gave you a nice little inside 15, started to work its way up. Right, so the inside 15 candle is a possibility to enter right there, but you got some more stuff to contend with. We're below the ADMA, right? It's got some work right there. We got above the ADMA, right, and we started working our way up, and then we had this nice pullback right here. We saw the VWAP too, right? So it was a nice pullback to kind of the VWAP is kind of like right there-ish, right? We had this nice, also to the ADMA, got a couple nice inside 15s, right? So when these flag moves, right, you look to enter here. So the aggressive entry is at the bottom of the flag. The less aggressive entries at the top of the flag, which also happen to correspond with that inside 15 breakout, right? And so then what you do there is like you just jump in there, not necessarily, right? So what we like to do there is sometimes, so that was this candle formed at 11:30, right? So if you go to the 5-minute chart, you can look for a clearer entry here, right? And so instead of just jumping in on the breakout, we had a nice clear breakout candle out of that flag pattern right here on the 5-minute chart. Right, and you can see that right there. So nice move, increasing volume, right? You can look to enter over that candle, and then you can put your stop either at the bottom of the flag, or potentially at the bottom of the candle, right? Or wherever that inside 15 low is, like right down here, right? And then you just kind of ride that up, and you can just kind of trail candle by candle by candle by candle by candle. So you make it up here, right, all the way from here. Entry, just say you got in like real close to the top of that candle right there, right here, right? So you get it at 306. Right, and you exit at 308, so you get a nice 2-point move on it, and you don't have to worry about anything else, right? You just get a nice. I'm not gonna say it's a safe entry, but it's a controlled entry, right? Especially when things are looking strong on the stock. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. Asif, hey, you pronounce my name. Hey, hopefully I got it right the second time too. Yeah, I know. Yeah, my pleasure on VTIQ. That thing's crazy. Alan, what's going on? Codex. Wow. That's incredible. What a move on that thing. Just wow. And it's going up after hours. This thing is a monster. Just a monster. Great job on this one, guys. Cup, handle, breakout candle with increased volume, one pause day. Reward day today, and then still some upside follow through. Incredible stuff. Great job staying on top of that one. Archibald, what's going on? Good to see you. Great job today and yesterday. So the Qs has been bullish for so long, right? Leading the way up, and it finally cracked today. Thanks, Jerome. But finally cracked below the upper trend line right here. Gave you a little lower shadow. Still has a gap below. So watch for a push down below these lows for potential gap fill on that one, which also corresponds with the 21 EMA. Otherwise, let's see if we can get it back above these levels right here. That high there is 219.61. See if we can try to work its way back up and get back above that trend line. If we get a fresh high at the top of the trend box, we'll shift the trend line over, and we'll try to work on this open gap right here and then those highs. Good stuff. Nick, what's going on? Good to see you. How about the SPY? SPY versus SPY. So SPY, again, same thing as the SPX right here. So, decent pullback. There's your high. There's your trend box high right there. So there's your trend line, right? And we're just in the trend box. Right at the top of the cloud. So see how it holds. A flush below today's lows give a momentum move down farther and a possible target of the 50 moving average. Above, right? Well, we just back in the trend box till we get above these levels, and then if that happens, trend line's going to shift there. We stay bullish, and then we get to contend with the 200-day moving average. We'll see if we work above that, and then try to buy pullbacks on that. So we'll see how that goes. Toa, what's going on? Good to see you. MU. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so MU, rough today. Woo, lots of lines on this one. Let's get a clear one here. All right, so MU. Let's take a look. Here. Right, there's a trend line right there. We closed below this pivot level here today, so definitely good volume on this one. So careful with this one, right? A lot of the semis have been strong, but MU's a little bit struggly, right? But if we push down below these lows here tomorrow, that could give a move down. It could give another momentum move down. It's got a lot of stuff to contend with below. A couple levels here, but definitely looking on the bearish radar going into tomorrow. Good stuff. Michael, what's going on? Let's take a look. What we got? You got Twilio. Still hanging in there, right? Big move up after earnings, and still held yesterday's low pretty nicely right there. So, decent recovery there. Still a red candle, so something to be cautious about, but definitely something to keep an eye on there. Docu has been just on fire, right? So big move up right here. Not too much of a pullback. Epic run up, right? Huge channel type move. We're kind of approaching the top of the channel right there, but it is holding its 21 EMA. So see if it can continue to work its way up on that one. IBB. Yep, biotech, a little flow out of biotech the last couple days. So, big reversal candle yesterday, follow through the downside today, held the 80 EMA on that one. So see if that can continue to hold. XP. Yeah, nice gap up on that one after earnings to see if that gets any follow through. Grow. Wow, huge candle today on this one. Huge candle today. Earnings coming up tomorrow after the close. Big move today. Crazy low volume price action though. So just be careful with that. Crazy stuff. Not a lot of volume on this thing, but low volume issue. Just be careful with that. And then INO. It tried today. So decent move after earnings, right? And then nasty reclaim of the range today. That's what some of these stocks I don't like how they retrace the entire range of the day. But decent recovery off of that. Right, and then still kind of closing the upper end of the range. Still, red candle though, just be careful with that. Maybe a push over today's highs, but we'll go from there. Sujay Splunk, upper shadow, and again we saw this a lot of the software names here today. In general though, let's take a look. Here's your trend line, still holding trend. So nice lower shadow today. Might go sideways a little bit. See how it handles that trend once you get there, and then you got earnings coming up too. And AYX. Yep, very similar. Okay, so this was your geometric line right here originally. We broke above it, doji, reversal back down, tag the top of the cloud. Now it's slightly below this geometric line right here. So just kind of see how that holds right there. But it's into a lot of buying pressure down here too. So could be some chop action on this one. Mike, yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brandon, what's going on? Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, we love doing it. We love the education and great camaraderie too. So good stuff. Yeah, COF, more downside follow through on these financials. Eventually, these things are going to pop somewhere, but it could potentially get down to this 53 range here. Great follow through on that one. Toy, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. Nick, have I looked at Diz? Not in a couple days. Yeah, it's just Diz is making me dizzy right here. So it tried to get out of this triangle right here. It had some trouble with it, right? So now that triangle is kind of expanding a little bit. We're still in between this range. Disney's just been so super duper choppy, even after earnings. So it makes it really, really tough. But let's see if it gives us a breakout candle one way or the other. Big triangle inside the cloud makes it tough. Whew! Good stuff, guys. Awesome chart request tonight. Good topic this week, too. It's a fun one. Tomorrow we're going to go over one more cool topic with the VWAP, so I hope you guys like that one. So definitely check in tomorrow. If you're new here on YouTube, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and hit the the notification button and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live, so you can check out our technical topics, and also for our questions and chart requests. It's always a fun time. And I do appreciate everybody for being here, so thanks again so much. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and a great trading day tomorrow. Get some rest out there, and once again, thank you. Oh, be sure. Oh, Cyrus, what's going on? Oh, yeah, let's check out cost. Coming in right at the end. And don't fight the trend. Exactly. Costco just kind of struggling a little bit. We're just in this this crazy range-bound chop zone right now. Unfortunately, I wish Costco, gave like prettier setups, but it is just cost. Should be a cost chopco. But anyway, sometimes it does give some really good moves. But really tricky here in this side channel, contained within a larger triangle pattern right here. So a little bit tricky there. But anyway, good stuff, guys. So yes, if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. Whether you're new or not, please hit the like button, and also be sure to check the links in the description too. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening, and thank you again for your support. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe.